The trade deadline has ended, and it was an eventful one to say the least. I'm going to be talking about each one of the trades, telling you who got traded for what, who won, who lost, giving grades, and doing all that good stuff. So make sure you stay tuned for the rest of this video. What's up, y'all? It's your boy DSD checking in. I just got back from playing golf. You know, I just jumped back in the studio. I was super pumped because there's a lot going on today. Kind of messed up and really wasn't paying attention that today was the trade deadline. So there's a lot in front of us, and I'm really excited to kind of break it down here. Yeah, I was wearing this hat over here, and it just looks weird, and so that's why there's just some random hat there. But if you're new here, make sure you subscribe down below because we cover it all. We'll cover all sports stuff. I've been posting every day. You don't want to miss it. We're the most underrated sports page on the whole entire YouTube. I haven't got my opportunity yet, but if you like sports stuff, this is a place to be. All right, let's get into it. These trades are not in order. They're all over the place. Just basically every trade that happened today, even the insignificant ones, and I'm going to be grading each one. So number one, the Denver Nuggets trade RJ Hampton, Gary Harris, a first-round pick to the Orlando Magic for Aaron Gordon and Gary Clark. This is an A for Denver. I love the move. It's a smart move. Picking up Aaron Gordon makes you a legit title contender if you already weren't one. They got better today, and I don't really love the return for Aaron Gordon. I just don't. I mean, they're young, I guess, but I don't know. I would give it an A for Denver and a C+ for the Magic. I just don't love that move. Number two, the Miami Heat trade Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk in a 2022 first-round swap rights for Victor Oladipo. This is probably the best trade of the day. I don't even know what the Rockets are doing. An unbelievable trade for the Miami Heat. Nailed it. I would probably give Miami an A+, whatever you want to call it. And then just the Rockets like an F, like just an F. That was a horrible trade. I don't know what they're doing. Number three, the Los Angeles Clippers trade Lou Williams and 2 second-round picks to the Atlanta Hawks for Rajon Rondo. It's an okay move. I do think getting Lou Williams really helps the Hawks and really gives them another spark of veteran presence that they were expecting Rondo to be, but Rondo kind of stinks and was just been trash this year. So I don't really think that he's definitely lived up to any expectations. So basically getting a better player in Lou Williams and 2 second-round picks for Rondo is, I think that's a win on the Hawks side. But the Clippers needed a ball handler to pair with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. I'm just not exactly sure that Rondo is the upgrade by any means. So I would give the Clippers a C, and honestly probably C+, B- for the Atlanta Hawks. Number four, this is my favorite trade of the day. Orlando Magic trade Nikola Vucevic and Al-Farouq Aminu to the Chicago Bulls for Otto Porter Jr., Wendell Carter Jr., and 2 first-round picks. So I think that this is an A+++++. Vucevic really helps them. They get a lot better today. They just got a lot better. That was a great trade, great move. Orlando actually got a better return here. I like Otto Porter Jr. He's kind of like a rangy veteran. I know he hasn't been around forever, but he's definitely on the veteran side of the things in like the NBA hierarchy. Got a young guy in Wendell Carter who's definitely unproven, and 2 first-round picks. So I like the move. It's an A++++ for the Bulls. The Magic is probably like a B-, B. It's not overwhelming, but it's a good move. It's a good return. Number five, Toronto trades Norman Powell to the Portland Trailblazers for Gary Trent and Rodney Hood. So I would give this probably like a B- for Toronto and maybe an A- for Portland. I don't really understand why the Raptors are trading Norman Powell. He's under contract. I know he's being paid a lot, but he's balling out this year, so he's really going to help Portland. Portland needed extra depth scorer. Norman Powell will definitely gives them that, so I'm really excited to see how good Norman Powell is going to be on the Portland Trailblazers because he's balling this year. But I do think Gary Trent was definitely trending in the right direction, the young guy, so I don't know. It's kind of like a weird trade because I really do think that the Toronto Raptors could have got more for Norman Powell. I think it's kind of weird how sometimes they sell so low on certain players when Norman Powell is a bucket. Portland definitely got a good one here. The Boston Celtics trade Jeff Teague and 2 first-round picks to the Orlando Magic for Evan Fournier. I guess it's a good move. I don't really know how I feel about it. It changes the dynamic up a little bit in Boston. I don't love the move. It's okay. So I'll give Boston a B. And I don't really know how Jeff Teague or 2 second-round picks help you at all. So I would give that a D to the Magic. I don't really know why the Magic are selling so low on these guys when they've been talking them up, that they're going to go for astronomical prices. That was just all trade jargon apparently, because it seems like at this point they went for much less than whatever their players' asking prices were. We have a 3-team trade here. Philadelphia 76ers get George Hill and Iggy Barzilius. I don't know how to say his name. OKC gets Austin Rivers, Tony Bradley, and 2 second-round picks. And then New York gets Terrence Ferguson. I don't really have an opinion on this one very much. It's like Sixers probably a C, OKC B, and New York C. I think that OKC is just like, what they're doing is ridiculous. They're just getting so many picks. They have so much ammo to go out there in the offseason, trade all these picks. They have some good young players they could still trade. You know, they could draft these guys. I mean, they're just nailing it down there. Whatever they're doing, all power to them. They're doing an amazing job. All right, number 8. The Pelicans trade James Johnson and Wes. I mean, I always mess up this dude's name, so Wes, whatever. Second round pick for JJ Redick and Nico Melli. I love this trade for Dallas. JJ Redick is a really good bench scorer. He can even start on some nights for them. Really bolstered up that shooting that they were having a little bit of issues since they lost Seth Curry. And Melli is a great shooter. He's, I've watched him a decent amount on the Pelicans. I really like this move a lot. So I would give Dallas maybe a B+, A-. I like this move a lot. And then the Pelicans probably a C. So I don't really know why the Pelicans would do that. I know that JJ Redick was going to get cut, so I guess something is better than nothing, but I don't know. I just feel like it's a very underwhelming. Number 9, Cleveland trades JaVale McGee to the Denver Nuggets for Isaiah Hartenstein and 2 second-round picks. It's a good move overall because I think that also helps Denver with JaVale McGee because he's getting a little bit of extra height that they can come off the bench. I like this move a lot. The Cavs were going to cut him potentially, so basically they got, I don't even know who Hartenstein is, maybe a young guy, and 2 second-round picks. It's a good move overall. So I would probably give like a C+ on both. It's not like crazy good, but it makes sense on both sides. Number 10, the Sacramento Kings trade. I never know how to say this dude's name. He's right here. I just don't know how to say it. It is what it is. For Mo Harkless and Chris Silva. Once again, it's okay. I guess I would give the Kings a C and then give Miami a C. It's really just a kind of like an insignificant trade, but I do think that the guy that I can't say his name, I always completely butcher it, is definitely going to help the Heat because he can shoot and he can rebound pretty well. So I don't know a ton about him, but I definitely think overall this trade is insignificant. The Chicago Bulls trade Daniel Gafford and Chandler Hutchinson for Troy Brown and Mo Wagner, I guess is how you say his name. To C and a C, really insignificant trade once again. Eventually, the Bulls actually flip Mo Wagner to the Celtics. Let's do that one next. The Boston Celtics trade Daniel Tice for Mo Wagner. I mean, it's a B and a B. I don't really love the move either way, but it makes sense for both teams. The Celtics need to shake it up. Mo Wagner is going to be helpful for the Celtics. Hopefully he gets some stretch abilities where he can shoot a little bit. I don't really know a ton about him, but from what I've been reading, people like him. And Daniel Tice is definitely going to help the Bulls. I think Daniel Tice is a good player, but it just wasn't a great fit in Boston anymore, so he needed to move on. Number 13, the Toronto Raptors trade Matt Thomas to the Utah Jazz. Insignificant once again. I would even give like an NA for Toronto. I don't even know why they did that, but I do think Matt Thomas he's a pretty good shooter, so helps Utah, I guess, with more spot-up shooting. Number 14, the Golden State Warriors trades Marquise Chris to the San Antonio Spurs for Katie, Laney, and Cash. I guess that the Spurs got a pretty good player, but I don't really know what the Warriors are doing here. They needed to get someone. They didn't do anything, so I would give them a big fat F overall because those guys did not do it. But I guess in this trade, it's like C and a C or something. It's really just insignificant. And then there's 2 buyouts, Andre Drummond and LaMarcus Aldridge. So Andre Drummond has reported that it's going to be the Knicks or the Lakers that are the front runners to sign him. And LaMarcus Aldridge apparently is already foregone conclusion for the most part going to the Miami Heat. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so I'm going to give a high level of the biggest winners and the biggest losers of the trade deadline. The biggest winners right off the jump are the Miami Heat, the Chicago Bulls, and the Denver Nuggets. So I'm going to just go really quick because this video has been pretty long now, and we're going to do a more extended video potentially in the future. The Miami Heat get Victor Oladipo. Pretty obvious why they won that. He's a good young player. He was really good in the Pacers. He had that injury, so he hasn't had the opportunity to really come back and show his stuff. I think in Miami, he's going to ball. He's going to do a lot of great things, and now they didn't really give up much for him either. The Miami Heat are basically intact, and then adding Victor Oladipo. Great move overall. And then potentially getting LaMarcus Aldridge. My goodness, they're going to, that's going to be great stuff. And then another team that won is the Chicago Bulls. I mean, listen, getting Nikola Vucevic at this point is a great move. It helps them out a lot. He's so underrated. He's going to be in the bigger market, so maybe he'll have an opportunity to really show his stuff and people to see how legit he is. He's one of the most underrated players in the NBA NBA, and I've done a video in the past of how I was saying I thought he was the most underrated player in the NBA. And then getting Daniel Tice helped a little bit too. Daniel Tice is a little bit of an underrated player. He just didn't work in Boston anymore. They had to move him. Bulls fans may not like him because he's just a good player overall. Not great. So then the next team that I would say that were the winners were the Denver Nuggets. So the Denver Nuggets get Aaron Gordon, really making their team legit. I mean, like, before they were legit, they add Aaron Gordon, similar to the Miami Heat situation. The Denver Nuggets get so much better adding Aaron Gordon. They really don't lose a ton. Now, if they weren't a favorite to win before, now they're an extra favorite, and they didn't really give up much to get Aaron Gordon. It's complete W there. The biggest losers are the Rockets, the Celtics, and the Warriors. I'm going to go really quick. The Rockets just completely botched the James Harden situation. The trade initially for James Harden was fine, but they get players in and they trade them for nothing. So originally, the Rockets had Jarrett Allen and Karis LeVert in the trade for James Harden. Then they flipped both of those players to get Victor Oladipo in a first-round pick, and then they flipped Victor Oladipo to Avery Bradley, Kelly Olynyk, and a first-round pick swap. What trash is that? If you're a Rockets fan, you should be so upset. That is a bad trade. I don't even know what they're doing. Miami completely dominated this one. Overall, I can't even believe that the Miami Heat got what they did from the Houston Rockets. Complete highway robbery. Then the Boston Celtics, they did make some moves, but the Celtics are much more talented of a team than what they're showing. They had to shake it up. I wanted them to trade Marcus Smart or someone like that where they would really shake up the lock. They didn't do enough. The Celtics got a little bit better. They're a better team than they were yesterday, but I'm still very underwhelmed by them, and I'm a fan, so maybe I'm a little critical. And then also the Golden State Warriors. They didn't get better. They didn't add anyone. They lost a player. I know Marquise Chris wasn't the best player on the Warriors, but they didn't do anything to help Steph Curry get to the promised land, which is a championship, and they're just basically staying put and waiting for Klay Thompson to come back, but I don't know if that's good enough. So I would say they're one of the biggest losers. Whew! This video was intense. I'm tired. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you made it this far, and if you did, God bless you. Make sure you subscribe down below, leave a like, leave a comment, do everything, because this video was long. So thanks again, guys. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow probably. See you then.